We talk about projections. And Greg, you had mentioned that Al Heyman never wanted this fight between Spence and Bud. And we know that's not true because remember, Al Heyman is the one who initiated the process. You know, let's be clear. We know that Bud is the B side. So Al Heyman, they initiated the process. This is not hearsay. This is what Bud Crawford said on IG Live. He said he received a term sheet. He received a proposal in May of 2022. And this was literally 30 days after Spence fought Ugas. They have been initiating this process for Bud to fight Spence this entire time. So I can't agree with you that Al Heyman never wanted this fight. I cannot also agree with you that it was all of Bob Arum's fault when you probably wasn't here earlier, Greg, when me detailing why some sports media was here, and we talked about the history of Top Rank as a promotional company back from the Sugar Ray Leonard days all the way up to now. They build their fighters up from the ground up, and most of their fighters, let's say Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Oscar De La Hoya, uh, Mikey Garcia, they promoted them and brought them up from the ground up until they were able to reach a certain plateau. And when those big fights did not happen, those guys moved on. They didn't resign, like you said, Bud did. They didn't resign, just like when Bob Arum had an acrimonious relationship with Floyd Mayweather, he didn't resign. Thanks to the help with Jay Prince, he didn't resign. He bought himself out of his own contract and he moved on. We've seen Bud not do that. Even though you said that Bud had an acrimonious relationship with Bob, he
Right.
re-signed with him. My point is that those guys were built up from the ground up, from Top Rank. They reached a certain plateau and they got the big fights after they left Bob Arum and Top Rank. So what's the issue with Bud? They took him from the ground up, promoted him to the best of their ability, or we wouldn't be talking about Bud right now. And he wouldn't be a multiple weight division champion. They built him up from the ground up. He reached that certain plateau. And guess what? He's at the place where he's ready for those big fights. And the only big fight that we want him to fight is the one that Spence wants more than every fan that's on this YouTube community. And that is, I want to fight Crawford. And
Why do you
everybody
think
knows
it's
it.
not happening?
Huh?
Why do you think it's not happening?
Why? Say it again.
Why do you think the fight still hasn't been signed in?
Because Bud Crawford knows that if he gets in the ring with Errol Spence, he will not be the bigger fighter. He will not be the more talented fighter. That he will not be the dominating force that he has been. And I'm going to tell you why I know that. It's not about being scared. Listen to what I'm telling you. He has not had the experience of getting in a ring with a fighter of Errol Spence's caliber. Look what I just told you about his resume.
I heard
Bob
what you
Arum,
said.
Bob Arum and Brad Goodman, the matchmaker, Hall of Fame matchmaker, good matchmaker too, over there at Top Rank. They have built this fighter up to as if he was a prospect. So when he gets in there with someone else that has more skill set than him, his confidence level is not there. And that's why
So
you
you think
agree.
he's afraid? Not
Huh?
so it's not money. It's not money. You think he's afraid?
No, it's not. It's not money. They offer him the most money he'll ever make in his whole life, ever in life. So it's not money. It's not. When I say afraid, I never use the words. That's your terms. What I'm
Uh-huh.
saying is he lacks confidence in winning that fight with Spence. Think
And that's
about
what
this.
we're in a disagreement at.
Yeah, he lacks the listen. If Crawford, looking at his actions, if Crawford really believed as much as you believe that he can be Spence, he would have signed that contract a long time ago. How
I
do we
think
know that?
I
How do
think
we know?
he's supremely confident that he would beat Spence. I
Let
wholeheartedly, I'm gonna let you finish, but I wholeheartedly think it's only about money.
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, I'm
I've
listening.
I've I've learned how to do something, Mr. Greg. Let me tell you a skill set that I've had. I've learned how to hear the words that people say, and I've learned how to hear the words that people do not say. And the words that people do not say, they show them in their actions. And I have literally, just like some of the people on the panel and the viewers at home watching, I have literally watched behavior pattern after behavior pattern. I've learned how to, and I said this on Tuesday night, by the way, on the previous broadcast. I've
Yep.
learned how to study behavior patterns of people. And
Hmm.
personally speaking, it's because I've overcome certain traumas in my life. The
Sure.
bottom line is that Terrence Bud Crawford's behavior pattern. See, you learn about this is how you get to know a person using your eyes and your ears. So I hear what Crawford has said with his words, and I've seen what he's done over a long period of time with his actions, and it's called discernment. And all of us on this panel, and even the viewers watching at home, you heard me say this before, but I'm gonna say it again. When it comes to truth, it's a mechanism built in us as humans that when we hear truth, we may not agree with it, we may not accept it, but when we hear it, we know it's truth. And what I'm saying is to say this, that Terrence Bud Crawford knows that if he goes in there and he fights Errol Spence, he do not believe 100% that he can beat him because look at his behavior patterns, Mr. Greg. Let me show you. Let me show you, Mr. Greg. He
I hear
said,
you.
look, Mr.
I hear
Greg,
you.
you agree with me, Mr. Greg. Terrence Crawford has said on at least one occasion that he want to fight Spence. Yes or no?
Say it again now.
Let me say it again. On at least one occasion, you have heard Crawford say he wanted to fight Spence, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On another occasion, at least one occasion, you've heard Terrence Crawford say he don't want to fight Spence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did he fight Spence?
Did he?
Did did
No, he
Crawford,
hasn't fought him.
huh?
No, he has not fought Spence.
Okay, so let's use those three facts that I just pointed out to you. You agree with me that you've heard him say on at least one occasion he want to fight Spence, right? You also agree with me on another occasion you've heard him say the opposite that he don't want to fight Spence, right?
Yeah.
But but the third thing is you just said in agreement that he did not fight Spence.
He has
So
not fought Spence.
so if you
He
didn't
has not fought Spence. Not did not.
no,
Big
okay,
difference.
he
Has
has
not.
not, no problem. He has not fought Spence. So if you did not know Spence and if you did not know Crawford and you were just looking at this from a humanistic standpoint, which would you believe in that fighter? Would you believe that he wanted to fight him or that he didn't want to fight him?
If I didn't know what I know, I would agree with you
That what?
that he didn't want to fight. But I know
Why?
better.
Why though? But tell me
But I
why
know
would you?
better. I said if I didn't know what I know, if I didn't know anything and I just heard him say he didn't want to fight Spence and he didn't do it, that's what I would believe. But I
Why
know
though?
better
Tell
what
me
I'm
why.
saying.
No, but tell me why, Mr. Greg. Why would you believe that?
Why would I believe he doesn't want to fight him? Just because he said it.
No, but he also said he did though.
No. I'm going by where we are now. If I just heard him say he did want to fight Spence, and then later on says he didn't want to fight Spence, I would agree with you then that he doesn't want to. But I would have to know none of what I know to believe that.
No, no,
I
no.
believe wholeheartedly because I know who the fighters are. I know the
Right.
mentality that this fight, to me, in my opinion, is not being made now. I only care about what happened before. I think the bottom line has still dollars and cents, and they're not getting there because he's overpriced himself. And if he's not going to get what he wants, we're going to be right where we are right now, going back and forth with different conjectures, different opinions. We're not going to get the fight. And probably a few months from now, we're going to be talking about the fights that actually
Can I
supposed
ask?
to
Can
get
I ask
made.
a question?
But I
Yeah,
don't think that fight's going to
hold
happen.
on, Black.
Okay.
Hold on, Black Skin Bruce. Got you. I just want to make sure that we on the same page here. Because remember, I just said I listen to the words people don't say. The words that you did not say, Mr. Greg, were the reason why you would believe that he didn't want to fight is not just because he said he did not want to fight. It's because his actions have also shown you that he didn't fight Spence. What I'm basically saying is that this is how we get to know a person as humans. We hear what they say and we see what they do. And the moment that their words do not match their actions, you must believe a person's actions before you believe their words. That's just a humanistic trait All of us know that. In other words, is if someone tells you that they love you with their words, but they have shown you time and time and time again through a pattern of behavior that they don't like you, that they disrespect you, that they walk all over you, that they manipulate you, that they gaslight you, and all the other personality disorder traits that people do against other people. They told you that they love you with their words, but their actions have never produced that. You would believe as a human. I know I heard them say that, but their actions is proven to me otherwise, and I'm more inclined to believe a person's actions than I am their words. In other words, is if
And I
somebody
can go
is
with your philosophy. I can go with your
right.
philosophy,
So
but
if
I'm
I
still saying that doesn't apply
that's
to
okay.
this situation. That's all. I can
That
go with your
that's
philosophy.
that's
We're not in a disagreement there.
that's fine. That's fine. But we know as humans, if I bump you and turn around and say, I'm sorry, Mr. Greg, and you say, no problem. And the next day I see you again, I bump you again. I'm sorry again, Mr. Greg. And you say, man, you bumped me yesterday. Okay, cool, let me let it go. If I bump you that third time, look at you and say, with my words, I'm sorry, Mr. Greg, I'm almost certain that you're going to say, there's no possible way that you can be sorry because you keep doing it over and over and over again, and you're double-minded. And we know that a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways.
And
And
as
we
I
know,
said before, we not in disagreement with the philosophy. But the fight ain't happening because of the money. That's all it is. That's all I can continue to say.
but you heard
I
him
hope
say,
I'm wrong.
but you
I
heard
hope
him
I'm
say,
wrong.
cool, but you heard him say, you heard that man
Yeah,
say
I
he
heard it.
don't want to fight Spence. You heard him say,
Like I said, I heard it.
cool. Now let me
Hopefully,
ask you,
we'll get to see this fight.
no problem. Me,
Hopefully,
yeah, I
we
hope
get to
so.
see this fight.
I
And
hope,
listen,
I hope
I
so
have
too.
to go. I would love to continue, but
Good,
I have to go. But gentlemen, thank you for letting me come in and kick it with you all. I hope to be able to do this again with you.
good job, Mr. Greg. One more question before you
Yeah.
leave. One
Don't
more. I promise you, this is the last one. Because you said you've been around boxing a long time,
right.
so you're qualified to answer this real quick. Can you give me one fight that happened where one fighter said they don't want to fight the other fighter and it actually happened? Can you give me one?
No,
I rest my case. Thank
no.
you, Mr. Greg. Appreciate you, bro.